Hey everybody, Mike Pfeiffer with Pfeiffer Hobby Supply. I'm going to do a tip today on the how-to channel, and this will eventually migrate over to the new layout video, maybe an update video. But I wanted to list this as a how-to simply because I think it's going to save people a lot of trouble and a lot of work. And it's unproven, but let's take a look at what I'm doing. Okay, everybody. I've searched the internet up and down and all over, and I've asked some questions of some local guys here, and one guy in particular, which I'll mention in a minute. But anyways, my quandary or problem, not quandary, but my what I was trying to do is I was trying to figure out what to cover the tops of this, the Woodland Scenic Risers with that would not, first of all, be messy and hard to put on, and second of all, be strong enough to do what you need it to do. It doesn't have to be overly strong because the foam itself takes most of that, any kind of support or pressure. All you need to do is put something in there to keep the scenic material and the ballast from falling down through into the cracks. I have used this on my layouts before, not necessarily for this purpose, but for other purposes. And it has worked well for me in the past. So let's take a look at what I'm using. Especially after I looked at all these videos of putting plaster cloth over the top, which many of you might have done. Guys are saying when you put the plaster cloth on, you have to cut it in strips and put the, butt the strips up instead of overlapping the strips, because then you wind up with a bunch of whoop-de-doos and stuff. And we don't want whoop-de-doos. So let me show you what I'm doing. Okay, after a little bit of thinking, a little bit of, I guess, lifetime research, and some talking to a Mike Cannizzaro. Some of you might have seen his layout in a video that I did about his layout. He's an extremely good modeler, and to top it off, he was a interior man for Ford Motor Company, and he's also a very, very accomplished body and fender man who did that kind of work for a long period of his life. I came about this close to winning the Riddler Award, and if you know anything about custom cars and stuff, you know that's a very prestigious award. But anyways, he's very good at bodywork and stuff. Anyway, my question to him was, he came over here the other night, and I had bought this 3M general usage masking tape at Home Depot, and I think you can probably get it just about anywhere. And I was trying to think, what can I put on there to keep the ballast from falling through, but not be too hard to install, and will stay there long enough to get the track on it and the ballast and the glue. And so what I came up with is I looked at this and I said, why can't I put masking tape on there? I've used masking tape to cover holes that I've made for tortoise switch. Oops, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to kick you guys. But anyways, I've used it to cover holes where I've had tortoise switch machines, other switch machines, holes cut for uncoupling coils and stuff like that. And I've used it on Homosote, and I've put it down, and it doesn't leak. When you put scenery material on top of it, it won't allow the stuff to run through the board and get down to the ground. And all that stuff, and when I pulled this layout out, it's been here 7 years, this masking tape, this general purpose masking tape, was still in perfect condition underneath the scenery work. So I got to thinking, why can't I use it on top of these risers and then come in and put my track on it later, and to keep the ballast and stuff going through? Because like I said, everything, it's there, the tape is not going to do anything except keep the ballast from falling down. So if the tape stays in position long enough for you to get the track back on, that's really all you need. And this track that you see behind me right here, I've had the tape down for 2 days, and I see no peeling, no nothing. And it's only 1/1000th of an inch thick or so, a couple thousandths of an inch thick. So you don't get, even where there's seams here, and let me show you here real quick. Right here, for instance, where I had pieces crossing each other to make the curve, I didn't try bending the tape around because I think that's a little, you get too much bend in the tape, and then you start getting wrinkles, and then you start getting it wanting to pull up. So what I did is I laid it all straight and just let it hang over the sides. As you can see right here, it's just stuck down to the sides. And any place on the outside curves it goes down. On the inside curves, you know, you have to cut a couple of notches in or tear notches in it. And I'm going to do how I install it here in just a minute. But so far, you run your hand over this, you don't feel a thing. In fact, it feels much smoother than it did with the foam on it. So I think this is I know this is what I'm going with. If it's a mistake, it's going to be a mistake. And you know me, I don't have any problem ripping something out. So I don't think it's going to be a mistake. Like I said, it's proven underneath, on the Homosote, underneath scenery that I've had done for years and years and years. And what I was getting to about Mike Cannizzaro is, you know, being a body and fender man, he's used this tape for a lot of different things over a period of years, and he testifies that it's probably a good idea. The only thing that might be even a little bit better idea would be to use duct tape, but I was afraid of using duct tape because it's considerably thicker, and I was thinking if I get too many seams in it, and then plus the shiny finish on the duct tape might not allow the glue and stuff to stick, but I know glue will stick to this, and I know scenery material will stick to it. So I'm going to move you over here. I've done about half the layout, and I decided after doing half the layout that I should probably do a video on this in case it works. And like I said, I would be confident in telling someone to do this. So even at this point. So let me show you what I'm doing over here, and you can make up your mind. Okay, gang. I have my trusty roll of tape here, and I'm going to show you how easy this is. To me, it's so much easier than trying to do plaster cloth. Well, it would be if I had torn my tape straight. But anyway, tape is extremely cheap as well. I mean, I mean, this is one roll that I've used on what I've done on the layout so far, and I think I used a little bit before that. But 2 rolls will do this. I have 290 feet of track total, not, you know, including the yard, which I haven't done, but you know, at least a couple hundred feet of track. But anyway, this is how easy it can be. I just lay it all the way out from end to end, however far I can get in a straight section. And if you get a little wrinkle in it, take it out. It's not a big deal. Overlap your other piece, and then I just push the edges down over the edge and stick it to the side. It's that simple. We'll do another section. This piece is a little wide because I glued an additional piece on. So we're just going to stick that down. We're going to come back and try and cover all the way down. Fold over the edge, stick it down. Like I say, here's a place where there's an inside edge, and all I do is just give it a little tear up to the center of one of the solid pieces and just stick it down. And then I always like to make sure that the ends are nice and stuck and the seams. Just run your hand over the whole top. And that's pretty much it. You can see that I have I think you can see in there, I have a small bare spot down here. Not a big problem. Just come in and put a little piece in there, fold it over the edge, push it down, and you're done. Once you get this on here, by the way, you can feel any irregularities in the foam. And you can, if you have a place where there's a high spot, for instance, right here, I can feel just a little bit of a high spot where the 2 pieces of foam come together. And if I just take my thumb and just push down on that foam at that point right there and just ahead of it a little bit, it evens that right up. I mean, it wasn't bad. I wouldn't worry about it in the first place, especially with the Unitrack. But nevertheless, you can do that because once you get this smooth, you can feel any of these irregularities. There's a couple right here, just a little, like a 1/16 of an inch sticking up there. But you can get that yourself right out of there. Let me work on this piece in the back while I got you set up here. And I'll do this outside edge first. Actually, I probably should have done that in a couple of different pieces, but that's okay. Like I said, tape is cheap. Cheap, cheap. And on top of that, easy, easy. We'll use that little piece right there where there was some missing. Fold that over. No muss, no muss. Layer this next piece on. And this foam is right up almost against the board, but I'm still going to push it over the edge there. This is an inside curve that you might be able to see right here, so I tore it. Putting it down over the edge, sticking it down good. Put a little tear right in this guy, right in there. Stick that down over the edge. And we'll finish up our last piece here. Whoops. Finish up our last piece. Looks like it needs to be approximately that long. We'll overlap that just a little bit. Fold it down over the edge. And there you have it. This is sticking out. This is sticking out right here, by the way, because I have some hot glue in these spots here that has dribbled out over the edge because I stacked them. But nevertheless, we have a nice smooth surface there. And like I say, all this has to do is last long enough until you get the track down on it and get some glue and some scenery on it. So, and I'm confident that it'll last that long. So that's the tip for today. I hope you enjoyed this short video on what I'm doing to take care of my Woodland Scenic Risers. And I hope you can use it. Okay, everybody, I hope you can use this tip, and I hope it's not premature. I can't imagine it being, as I had said in the video, but we'll see how it works over time. But right now, it's looking like an answer to a really messy job. So, with that being said, as usual, thanks for watching, guys.